Guys, Abram the Realtor here with another video for this week. And I wanted to create something kind of on a special occasion, anniversary kind of thing, because today is October 16th, 2020. And many of you are thinking, what does this date have to do with my career? In fact, this is a date officially where I became a licensed realtor. Now, before, I want to give you guys a little bit of backstory into kind of why I became an agent. And it's going to go back many years ago. So Wayback Machine, let's go on our DeLoreans, let's go back in time. And I'm graduating from Cal State Dominguez Hills. I have a bachelor's degree in sociology. I just tell people it's social work because some people in that field do go into becoming social workers. And at the time, and still, I wanted to get a higher education. However, I couldn't afford the master's program's exams. So of my father at the time, because me and him, I wasn't finding work. He was trying to help me get a job at the time, postgraduate. And luckily I didn't have student debt, so it wasn't a bigger motivation than necessary. So in other words, I got to find a job. Now I've got debt to pay. It's more pressure than is really needed. But at any rate, my father had enough, especially me, because I wasn't going anywhere moving forward. And he took me to this agent who he knew, a lovely man. Unfortunately, I found out a few years ago he passed away. And it was sad because we left on bad terms. But I've always wished him the best of luck, and I still do. He took me under his wing and trained me in his office before I became licensed. I was studying under his office and to become a licensed realtor. And eventually, from there, I joined with Berkshire, and a lot of my colleagues and a lot of my friends are still Berkshire agents that I still keep in touch and contact with. And I spent about 4 years with them. But the date is important because that was the day I got recognized, the license and as a Berkshire agent in the Southgate office. I was at them for about 1.5 years, 2 years before I switched to the Bellflower and the remaining branch until I transferred out in 2018 to my previous office, my most recent one, and then currently now with Keller Williams here in 2020. And October 16th means a lot because it shows you'd be surprised how much I have done in 6 years, both as an agent, in terms of transactions and growing my business. I mean, a lot of people I met when I started are still in this business, and some of them are even still my friends to this day. And I ask questions about, have I progressed, partly because of some of the coaching sometimes, others is more curiosity, and because I've always wanted to improve, and many of the best agents are always bringing that up as something we need to do. If you want to get to the top level, you always have to be willing to be open and improve and be forward and keep doing what's successful and things like that. And right now with the market, it is a little bit discouraging for some people, even agents. We also took a big hit when COVID hit to a certain extent. Many of our transactions were on hold because people lost their income, they lost their job. Unfortunately, some people have passed away because of COVID, and that put a damper on things. Or because of the pandemic, it put people that were already ready to go on hold or said, you know what, we're gonna wait. So as an agent myself and as everyone else here, it's tough, and that's something that, going back to when I started, which is something I wish people would have told me sooner, as well as I listened. I'll be fair, I'm not perfect. This business is not something that people think it's easy. Yes, you can make great income, you can have a great living, and there's a lot of people where that's their main source. However, it is a lot of work and a lot of time invested in growing who you are and growing your business and hustling. If you're not putting in the work, you're not going to survive long. And there's a couple people that say, go after homeowners, meaning listings. You can work with a buyer, but however, be prepared for A, B, and C. The one thing that I had to learn, even now, it's not an easy thing to do. I've been discouraged so many times, and to some extent I still am, because I see many agents that are better performing that they struggle, or I see some that don't deserve the success that they do. I'm not going to name names because, to be fair, I don't know all their circumstance. The same thing can be said about me. All the transactions I've dealt with, they were probably not easy for me as well, or maybe they were, but I had help and also just not to create issues. We all have to work with each other. And our clients want to trust us, and rightfully so. But I wanted to bring this up and create this video to kind of show people that, despite obstacles, you still have to keep moving forward. And this date means a lot to me because it's a reminder, that I've been in this 6 years. I mean, my first year, I was just starting off. I didn't know anything about paperwork and negotiation and submitting offers. Here's what you do when you include an offer. Why do you need a city inspection? And these are things I learned through time, and also talking to people, and sometimes being in situations where I had to learn quick. And that's an advantage in some cases. Other times it's not. Like I've done door knocking where I've gotten nobody. I've had months where I didn't close a single deal, even a year. My second year, I didn't take it serious because I thought the same that many people believe is it's an easy job, it's an easy thing. It's not. You have to be hustling every day. And even with your sphere of influence, meaning people you know or people you've met throughout the whole time you've been, whether it's open houses, door knocking, referrals, people you met sometimes just living life day to day and just being in front of them and, reaching out to them. And if they are looking to own, looking to list, sometimes both, and helping them out in any way possible. And it's something that I tell new agents, right now many people want to get into the field. And again, I'm not dissuading them, if they want to do it, okay. However, I would say, if you want to do this full time, you need to know what is involved and what you need to do. If you're doing this part time, same thing as well. And there's options, not in a bad way, team up with a mentor, have specific days you want to prospect, what are some things you should learn your scripts, take your time, be driven. If people see you're driven, then they know that, hey, you know what, this person, he or she, they're not here to waste time. They want to know because they're that driven, and you need to carry it because let's say you become successful, you could burn out or you can have a sense of entitlement. And that's two of the worst things you can be as an agent, besides being difficult, and that's something that it's more of a personal issue for some, or some agents can be like that when in fact they're not because they're that passionate. You have to be open. Is it something you can do? Yes, but there's a lot of work involved. However, it's one where, I've met many people that they don't regret it. Maybe the timing of what they joined, or perhaps, they've had good experience and they've had their bad years. I've had my bad years, and every person I've met has them too. But the one thing that drives them is basically, why do you do this? And that's something that myself and new agents need to ask. I mean, there's something I should have done years ago, or in fact, should have accepted years ago, and yet just want to let people know about it and say, hey, you know what? It's not bad. So October 16th, 2020, 6 years in this business. Wow. I'm not a young man anymore. Unfortunately not. Even though I still look like I did back then, maybe 20 pounds more, or probably 20 pounds lighter, excuse me. But at the same time, keep at it. If you want to be a realtor, okay. It's not easy, but simple isn't easy. At the same time, it's worth it when you keep at it. So anyway, guys, your real estate needs 6 years running, hopefully another 6 to 12 to 18 to 36 years in this business. You call, you text, you email, Abram the Realtor, signing off.